It's time for the Happy Hustle Show. I am totally squeezing this in today because I have a call at or a live at 6:30 in the Happy Side Hustle classroom, and I have not stopped on Zoom and Teams meetings since 9:15 this morning, but didn't want to miss it. So let me just click here and check that I've gone live in the right place and see if anybody is going to turn up and say hello. Oh, hi, brilliant. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Claire. Thank you for coming along. That's perfect. I find you. How you doing? I was just listening to the news. So I had literally 10 minutes for my dinner. I just listened to the news, and Nationwide have just announced that, well, not probably announced it earlier today. I've not been listening to the news all day, that all of their staff can work from wherever they want going forward. That feels really big. Like, that's quite exciting, isn't it? I think it said 13,000 staff, and they can all just work from home if they want to. It feels like I was working with a company today, and they're a more traditional company, and they were saying that the owners are really keen for things to go back to normal. So, back to normal as in how they were before. So all office staff been in the office 5 days a week, but I just don't think the majority of companies are going to go that route, which means the whole world has changed. And it's such an amazing opportunity, I think, to just learn the lessons from working from home has not been perfect for everybody, definitely, but there have been some good things, and that's what I want to talk about today. It's about the kind of good things on the journey. So for those of you that are in your wish you could sell your company, I wish I could sell my company clothes from home. Don't think that will happen. Well, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think the world is changing. I think flexible working has absolutely a minimum got to be the way forward. Yeah, I just think it would be really foolish to have gone through the last year and then just go back to doing what we did before. And I think that probably applies for us and our side hustles as well. I know for a lot of you, your side hustle has just been born in the pandemic. And how amazing is that? Like, how amazing is it to have set up a business during a pandemic? Like, that's so cool. Like, congratulations, because that is probably not a mindset that a lot of people are in. But I just want you to think about your confidence pot. So for anybody that tunes in regular, as in any of my programs, I talk regularly about your happy hustle pot. So the pot of money that you are going to generate with your side hustle that you're going to spend on fun stuff, right? So the deal is that you have to spend the money that you generate through your side hustle for things that bring you joy. So your side hustle has to bring you joy, and the money you make has to be spent on things that bring you joy. Like, how good is that? Who wouldn't want to do that? Anyway, I want to talk about a different pot. I want to talk about your confidence pot. So, a side hustle and life generally is a roller coaster. It is not a straight trajectory. It is not a straight trajectory like that or like that. It is definitely like this. And sometimes you've got wins, and sometimes you have those points where you just go, is this worth it? Like, sometimes just something will happen and maybe you'll get no reaction to something that you've spent a lot of time doing, or, you'll have a customer that'll make a complaint about something, or, this is what life is all about. If there weren't any ups and downs in life, we wouldn't appreciate the ups, would we? That's what they're there for. But thinking about your confidence pot and keeping up your momentum and getting through those little dips in joy, where the joy isn't quite there in the same way as it was. I want you to be noticing and building on the times when things are good. So your confidence pot is something that I want you to think about as a place that you can go and dip into when you need it, and a place that you add to when you're feeling confident. one of the absolute biggest obstacles to side hustle success is around confidence. It is certainly the biggest thing around mindset that I coach and help people with. It is definitely the thing that puts people up against that brick wall. And regularly we have people within the programs who maybe have a bit of a wobble, and they say, oh, I just don't know, particularly when we get around time to launch. People are like, oh, I don't know if I feel ready, I don't know if my product's good enough, etc. But it's all around confidence, and confidence builds from action. So you can't take confidence by doing nothing. The only way you build confidence is if you do things that either work out well or they don't. And if they don't work out well, we've learned that thing doesn't work out well. And if they work out well, it's a nice little confidence boost. So what I want you to think about is celebrating the tiny stuff as you go along. So most people have that kind of, here's the, and we have all, within Happy Side Hustle, we've all set ourselves a goal, haven't we? So we've been all like, right, okay, this is how much I want. This is how much I want it. This is when I want it by, and this is when I'm going to spend it on. Those goals are brilliant because they motivate you. And you're totally going to celebrate when you get to the end. Like, of course you are. But I want you to think about celebrating along the way as well, because it's not just the end that's a success. It's not just the goal, the destination. It is also those little successes along the way. So the day that you press live to open your Etsy shop, that is a major success. The day that you set up your Instagram, that is a success. The day you post your first video, that's a success. The day you get your first follower that isn't a member of your family or a happy side hustler, that's a success. The day you get your first sale is a success. The day you get your first sale from someone you don't even know, that's a success. There's so many. The day that you motivated yourself to do something when you just didn't feel like it, that's a success. And all of those things, I want you to take time to notice, and I want you to take time to pat yourself on the back. Imagine that you are speaking kindly to your younger self who's doing these things. If you saw a child doing the things that you're doing, you would be encouraging them, you would be recognizing them, you would be telling them how well they're doing. I want you to be that kind to yourself. It would be really easy in the roller coaster to dwell on the things that go wrong. And I just want you to notice how you feel when you dwell on things that just aren't as great, and they will be there. When you dwell on those, when you choose to spend time thinking about them, reflecting on them, it just, even when I'm talking about it, I feel quite heavy and weighed down by that kind of just mulling on things, dwelling on things, like it's just ugh. When you choose to notice all the things that go well and spend time thinking about those, and at least so if you're moving from a place where you spend a lot of time thinking about the things that haven't gone well, the overthinking piece, if you're moving from that, it could be quite difficult to go, right, don't think about those anymore, just think about the joyful things. So the interim step could be, I want you to set yourself a goal to make sure that you're spending as much time dwelling on the things that have gone well as you are on the things that have gone wrong. I want you to make sure that you've got that balance, but actually, I want you to push yourself to spend more time dwelling. I don't think dwelling is necessarily a negative word, but it's usually used in a negative context. You don't usually dwell on joy, do you? You dwell on things that have gone wrong. I hadn't really thought about that before. Or you don't mull joyful things, you mull over things that maybe aren't joyful. So I want you to stop dwelling and mulling, right? I want you to be spending time in joy. I want you to just, but the secret to this is just start noticing and patting yourself on the back for every little success, not the end goal success, not the, I will celebrate in the future when I get there, not the, I need to have X number of sales before I can, feel like I'm a success. If you were a young child, and you still are a young child in here, if you were a young child and the young child had just, if a child came to you and said, I've just done it. I was a little bit uncertain, but I've just opened an Etsy shop. You'd be like, that's amazing. You're amazing. Fantastic. That's brilliant. If a young child came to you and said, I've just sold something to my auntie, you'd be like, oh, that's so exciting. I'm so pleased for you. If a young child came and said, I have just sold something to a random stranger, you'd be like, beyond excited for them. I want you to feel that for you. I want you to take time to celebrate you, celebrate all the tiny wins, because every time you're doing that, you're building up your confidence pot. Your confidence pot then is there to dip into when you find yourself on a down part of the roller coaster, which is there. I cannot promise you this is all going to be a straight line. But if you ever dip, you need to be able to have that confidence pot already built to tap into. Because what happens when people don't do that is they go, oh, this is all too much. I'm just going to stop doing it. Because you can move away from the like the dwelling, the sort of the thought that maybe you haven't succeeded in a particular thing. You can get away from that by never doing it again. But if you never do it again, you can't get the success. You can't get the different outcome. You can't get your side hustle out there. You can't be visible. Did I ever tell you about Colonel Saunders? I feel every story that I tell you always comes back to the KFC man. But he had bucket loads of confidence, didn't he? He didn't just have a pot. He had bucket loads, and he was able to dip into it. And must come up with a better role model than Colonel Saunders. But anyway, the point is, don't just build your side hustle pot of money. Build your side hustle pot of confidence. And when you do that, on the days that you're not feeling it for whatever reason, and life happens to us all, you can go back and go, do you know what? A practical way of doing this, like an objective way of doing it, is in terms of the reviews and the testimonials that you get for your product or your service. So if you have an Etsy shop, or if you have a website or some way of gathering testimonials, or people email you to say how much your service has made a difference to them or whatever, keep those in a folder, like print them out and put them in a folder, or keep them in an online folder if you want to be environmentally responsible. But have them to look at, so that if you ever get a review that's not great, heads up, you will. If you ever get an email from a customer that's not grateful, heads up, you will. Then it's not a catastrophe. You're able to go, do you know what? I'm going to take this into context, and I'm going to print this out, and I'm going to look at the other 100 reviews I've got in here, which are saying, like, my product is the best thing ever, or I've changed their life with my service. And I'm going to go, these are all opinions. Nobody is emailing you with the truth, because we're all just presenting opinions to each other. Am I going to take on board this opinion that makes me feel icky? Or am I going to take on board these 100 opinions that make me feel amazing? Having that pot, having that folder, however you do it, is going to ensure that you keep on your journey, you keep the momentum up, and you keep firing towards that side hustle dream. Right, let me just quickly have a look at your comments here. I had a few days like that this week, Karen. Yeah, and you know, like, I cannot tell you the number of days. Like, I'm joyful. I am known for being joyful, and I define myself as joyful. But it's not like every day, every minute of every day. Sometimes you just feel like you've been hit by a bus. Sometimes you're just like, oh, like something happened today in my day job. I was working with a company, and I'd done a really big piece of work for them. I was really pleased with it, right? And I'm not a detailed report writer, but I had pushed myself to write this, and for a number of reasons, I'd made it even better than I normally do. I was really pleased with it. Anyway, when I had the meeting with them today, they were lovely, but they were just a bit like, oh, yes, like it's Yeah, it's good. And I'm like, oh, I was really hoping they would say it was going to be brilliant. You've done all this work and you're like, oh, I really hoped. But, anyway, it's not like they weren't being bad. And I don't know. Anyway, it just didn't work out. But I came off and I was so deflated. And I was saying I was working with a colleague and she actually contacted me afterwards to go, I can't believe they didn't love that. I thought what you did with me. So it was really lovely to hear that. And then I thought, right, in context, I think I've done more than 100 of these types of reports and meetings now. And normally, like, people are raving about it. So, it happens. But for me, that really helped to dip into my bank of, actually, I know that for other people, this has worked really well. So there can be a whole load of reasons why something doesn't work for somebody. That's all good. Your yesterday was like that, Sheila. Yeah. I don't know if it's you had a few dips today, Linda, all external stuff. Maybe there's something going on with the moon, because that's been my week as well. But you're crawling out of the dip. Yeah, let's not crawl out, Sheila. Let's fire out. Let's fire out. You had a lovely review from your ideal customer this morning, Linda. I love it. Today I was nearly in tears over Instagram stories, as in what you couldn't get it to work, or did somebody comment on your Instagram story, Hazel? Tell me what you mean. You went out for a lovely walk and you feel better. Well, that's another thing that was like making me feel a little bit not joyful at lunchtime. I really wanted to go out for a walk. I had a route planned in my head and I just thought I want to get out and get some fresh air. And then my meetings ended up running over lunchtime and I actually didn't even have a lunch. And I wasn't sure I was going to get a dinner. Only my lovely husband went out to Lidl, bought some food, brought it back in, and I had about 10 minutes between 10 to 6 and 6:05 to eat it. So Hazel, yes, I like push myself out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I decide I have to do things my way. Yeah, and Hazel, that's what being self-employed is all about. Like, do not do things other people's way. It has to be your way. That's the joy of it. It can be really overwhelming. Yeah, see it as a bit of fun. Yeah, you have to see it as a bit of fun, Helen. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, you're setting up your shop this weekend, Ruth. That's exciting. I so needed this. I've been steaming ahead and done so much, and then I get annoyed with myself because I can't do one thing. You are amazing. Yes, you are amazing, Hazel. Oh my God, you totally are amazing. I'm the same. I am sitting today with a to-do list as long as your arm going, oh, I literally don't know where to start. But I look at all the things that got done last week. I'm like, okay, hold on. You don't need to do all the things. Yeah, you've done so well so far. I know you've sold actual books to actual real people. It's not just like there's anybody else in here that's done that. So that included me. That's incredible. We are all amazing. Yeah, I'm going to wallow in joy. Yes, wallow in joy. No more over dwelling. A straight line means you're not alive. That's true. That's true, Claire. Yeah. So yes, we're just experiencing life. Let's see. I need to put a big picture of Colonel Sanders. I know he's a terrible role model, right? But I'm just inspired by his behavior. I do know other examples, but even Walt Disney's an example, but I don't know. I just like that Colonel Saunders, there was like more than 1,000 times. It's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that. Let me just see. Find one today. Thomas Edison. Yeah, I know Thomas Edison. Yeah, 1,000 times. Yeah, Thomas Edison. Like, I don't know. I'd really like it to be somebody that's somebody. Can we not use George Clooney? Yeah, I'd really like it to be somebody that would be a lovely graphic. Cillian Murphy. Yeah. 100 onions. 100 onions. What did I even say there? Oh, you maybe comment on somebody else, Ruth. I don't know what you mean by 100 onions. Yeah, just not feeling it today. Yeah, Ruth. Makes me want an actual jar for my confidence, but good things that happen and successes. Yes. So hold on. This is my jar. Now it looks weird because I've put in it like wire fairy lights isn't the right word because they're little tiny lights. And it's got battery pack in the bottom. But actually, this is a really lovely jar. If you can see, it's got a heart on it. I just got that off Amazon. You would, do you know, I tell you what, that would be a great side hustle, making pots with little bits of paper in them and, you know, like a story to them, confidence pots, happiness pots. That'd be a good side hustle. Body Shop's a good example. Yes. Opinions, not onions. Okay, yes. Yes, everybody's got an opinion. You like the idea of success pot. Yes. So Hazel, yeah. So we have our happy hustle pot for the money, and now we have our confidence pot as well. Yes, perfect. Okay, right. I'm going to go because I should be over in the Happy Side Hustle classroom, but I can see most of you from there or on here. So, but I will be back here on Monday for the next Happy Hustle show over the weekend. Start noticing the things, start noticing the times when you feel confident, start celebrating the little wins and building up that confidence pot. And for those of you in Start Your Happy Side Hustle classroom, I am just about to end here and go live there. So come over and join me. See you in a minute. Bye.